discuss proportion. So, we define proportion as the statement of equality of two ratios. So, mamaya malalaman natin kung paano ba natin masasabi kung yung dalawang ratio ay equal or they are proportion. So, to determine, we have first to identify how can we write or how are we going to write proportion. So, it can be written in three possible ways. So, it can be written through the use of fractions. So, we have A over B equals C over D. It can also be written in equal sign or through equal sign or equality. So, we have A is to B equals C is to D, or through the use of colon. So, we have A is to B, okay, is to C is to D. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, proportion yung first ratio sa second ratio. So, ngayon, let's have this example. So, in these items, we are going to identify ano ba yung mga proportion and ano yung mga hindi. So, let's try to answer number 1. So, we have 12 is to 15 and 4 is to 5. So, una, kailangan nating alamin kung ano ba yung extremes and means dito sa may set of ratios na to. So, let's say, ang gagamitin ko ay equal sign. So, ano ba dito yung extremes na sinasabi natin? So, extremes, ito yung nasa labas ng mga ratio. So, this is the extremes. And this is the means. So, tandaan nyo na yung extremes, yun yung nasa labas ng ratio, means yung nasa loob. So, para malaman natin kung proportion siya, dapat kapag minultiply natin yung dalawang number ng means at dalawang number ng extremes, equal po sila. So, in this example, if we multiply 12 times 5 or 12 and 5, we have 60. And 15 times 4 is 60 as well. Therefore, this is an example of proportion, or we can write it here, yes. Now, let's have the second example. We have 9 is to 8 and 27 is to 24. So, if we multiply the extremes, the product will be 216. So, 9 times 24 is 216. Next, so we have 8 times 27. So, this is also 216. Therefore, it is a proportion. Next, we have number 3. So, we have 12 is to 60 and 1 is to 6. So, if we multiply the extremes, we have 12 times 6. This is 72. And next is 60 times 1 is 60. Now, since the product of the means and extremes are not the same, therefore, this is not an example of proportion. So, let's have next example. So, 14 is to 4. So, this is number 4. And 7 is to 3. So, the extremes product is 14 times 3 is 42. And 4 times 7 is 28. Again, this is not the same. Therefore, it's not proportion. Next is number 5. So, we have 56 is to 32 and 7 is to 4. Again, if we get the product of the extremes, this is 224. Or if we multiply 56 and 4, we got 224. If we also multiply 32 and 7, the product is 224 as well. Therefore, this is a proportion. Do you have any questions? Very good. So let's move on to the next part. So here we're going to find the missing value in each proportion. So let us try to solve number 1. Okay, in number 1 we have 1 over 9 equals a number over 27. So sa example na to, we have letter. So again, kapag letter yung nakita ninyo, ibig sabihin po, it represents a specific value. Or this is what we call variables. So it can be any letter from the alphabet or symbols which represents a specific value or specific number. So here we have 1 over 9 equals x over 27. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin is to multiply the means and extremes. So, kapag ganitong fraction, let's highlight. So, this is your extremes, the 1 and 27. And this is your means. Okay. Kung mapapansin ninyo, we are going to use the cross multiplication. So, i-multiply lang natin yung extremes and means. We have 1 times 27 equals 9 times a number or x. Okay, so here we have 1 times 27 is 27 equals 9 times x is 9x. Now here, we're going to divide both sides by 9. Why? Kasi po, ang kailangang matira lang dito sa side na to is yung letter. So, kasi yun yung hinahanap natin, which is x. So, para mawala yung 9, i-divide natin siya both sides. Now, bakit natin siya i-divide? Bakit hindi tayo mag-multiply, add, or subtract? Remember that the operation between 9 and x is multiplication. Therefore, we are going to use the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Bakit po tayo magdi-divide? Kasi, kailangan niyang maging 1. Ito, yung 9. So, para maging 1 siya, i-divide ngayon natin siya sa 9. Ngayon, hindi pwede na dito lang tayo sa side na to magdi-divide ng 9. Kailangan dito rin sa left side. Ayan. So, ngayon, balance na siya. Ang gagawin na natin, we are going to perform the operation. Here, we have 27 divided by 9. The answer is 3. And we have 9 divided by 9 is 1. 1 times x is x. Okay. Kung nakikita niyo yung variable natin, hindi ko na sinulat yung 1. Kasi po, tandaan ninyo na lahat ng variable may invisible na 1 as their numerical coefficient. Okay. Ngayon, ang ibig sabihin na nito, the value of x is 3 or yung nawawala daw na number dito is 3. Now, let's check if our answer is correct. So, we have 1 over 9 equals, so ngayon, papalitan nyo lang yung x ng nasolve natin na value which is 3. So, 3 over 27. Ngayon, we're going to perform the cross multiplication. Kailangan same sila ng product. So, we have 9 times 3 and 1 times 27. So, 9 times 3 is 27. 1 times 27 is 27 also. Therefore, our answer is correct since it shows in our checking that these two ratios are proportion. So, here we have the value of x, 3. Now, can you try to solve number 2? Okay, I will give you a minute to try to solve number 2. Okay, let's assume that you are done answering number 2. Let's check. So you can pause and play the video if you are not yet done answering. So let's have number 2. We have 3 over 10 equals 21 over x. Again, we are going to perform or do the cross multiplication. So here we have 3x equals 21 times 10. So we have 3x equals 210. Again, the same process, we're going to divide both sides by 3. Okay, bakit sa 3? Kanina kasi ang kasama ni x ay 9. Ngayon naman 3, kaya i-divide natin both sides by 3. So here we have x, and then 210 divided by 3 is 70. So therefore, the value of the unknown number is 70. Next, let's have number 3. So in number 3, we have x over 7 equals 18 over 42. Again, we're going to perform the cross multiplication. So we have 42x equals 18 times 7. And then we get the product of 18 and 7. This is 126. 42x, the same thing that we did earlier. We are going to divide both sides by 42. Okay, we have now the value of x, which is 3. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Okay, kung wala na, let's move on to number 4. So in number 4, we have 12 over x equals 6 over 4. Now, if we do the cross multiplication, we have 6x equals 12 times 4. So, we have 6x, 12 times 4 is, what is 12 times 4? This is 48. So, we have 48 divided by 6. So, again, if we divide 48 and 6, we have 8. Do you have any questions? None? Okay, let's move on to number 5. So, here we have 4 over 3 equals 24 over x. So, if we do the cross multiplication again, we have 4x equals 24 times 3 is, what is 24 times 3? Very good. So, this is 72, right? Again, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So, we have 18 as the value of x. So, here we have 8 and here we have 18. Okay. Do you have any questions? None? Okay. So, let's move on to the word problem part. So, let's read the problem. To make a bowl of fruit salad, you need 10 cups of fruit cocktail. How many cups of fruit cocktail would you need to make 4 bowls of fruit salad? So, here, isusulat lang natin siya kung paano yung magiging ratio nila. So, dito, to make a bowl, ibig sabihin, 1 lang yan. So, bowl 2. So, let's use the colon 1. So, bowl 2 cups. So, bakit ko siya sinulat ng ganito? para hindi kayo malito kung sino yung mauuna sa kanilang dalawa. So here, in one bowl daw, gagamit kayo ng 10 cups of fruit cocktail. Ngayon, ang tanong niya, ilang cups of fruit cocktail ang kailangan ninyo para makabuo ng 4 bowls ng fruit salad. So again, so we have equals, bowl yung nawawala, kaya ang gagawin natin ay, So ang nawawala dito is yung cups. So ang bowl ay 4, and then yung cups ay nawawala. So we are going to use letter N. Bowl, cups. Okay, bakit ako gumamit ng letter N? So, para hindi kayo masanay na laging X yung nakikita. Kasi sa variable, pwede kayong gumamit ng kahit anong letter. Yan. Ngayon, we're going to do the same process that we did earlier sa part 2. So, imumultiply lang natin yung extremes and means. So, here we have 1n equals 40 or n equals 40. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, ang kailangan ninyo ay 40 cups of fruit cocktail. So, ito na yung answer natin. So, para ma-check kung tama yung sagot ninyo, so, assume natin na papalitan na natin yan yung letter N. So, we have 1:10 equals 4:40. So, to check, we multiply the extreme and means again. So, we have here 10 times 4 is 40, and 1 times 4 is 40. Therefore, our answer is correct. Okay, let's move on to the second example. So, a school uniform needs 2.5 meters of cloth. How many uniforms can be made from 135 meters of roll of cloth? So, a school uniform, ibig sabihin, 1 lang yung tinutukoy natin dyan. So, in 1 school uniform daw, makakagamit tayo ng 2.5 meters of cloth. So, we have the school uniform is 2 cloth or yung measurement ng cloth kada isang school uniform. So, we have 1 is to 2.5 equals, so dito ang nawawala is yung kung ilang school uniform yung magagawa natin. So, we have N equals, okay, let's try to use letter S, which symbolize for school uniform, equals 135. So, again, we're going to do the math. So, multiply the extremes and multiply the means. So, we have 2.5s equals 1 times 135. So, here we have 2.5s. Divide lang natin ulit both sides. So, cancel na natin si 2.5. Now, we have s equals 135 over 2.5. Or, if we divide the 2, we have 54. Therefore, our answer is, so you can make 54 school uniforms in 135 meters of cloth. Okay. I'm hoping that you have learned something today. Thank you.